Hi, YouTube friends. My name is Heather Miller, and I am the Mirror Image Stitcher here on YouTube and on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Normally, my content is about cross stitch, but today I'm catching you up on what's been going on in my quilting life. So I have some notes that I'm going to be looking down at because I've already filmed this once and did a really poor job of it. So I want to make sure I address some things and I don't forget about it. The other thing I wanted to tell you is I've kind of added a new feature to my channel in that I am going to be putting a 20-minute timer down. And so that at the end of the 20 minutes, I have about 5 minutes to wrap up, and anything I haven't talked about, I'm just going to wait till the next time. So I'm just going to get it started. So welcome everyone. Today is July 29th, 2026, and this is my third Quilttube. The first one that I want to talk about is an Africa quilt. I call it because of the prints, the fabrics that I used. Here's a picture of it. And I used the water hole by Gabrielle Neal Design for Riley Blake Designs, and it came out in 2022. I did add some different fabrics if they looked kind of African to me. I added some in, especially some of the low volume ones. And then anything that I added for my stash. If it just sort of seemed to fit, just little pops of color like the peach, some of the mustard yellows, that kind of thing. I added in out of my own stash just to give the fabrics, like just to give some, movement, to give a little bit of interest in the quilt. This quilt, I'll show you also the label that I made for the quilt. This quilt went to my stepson and his wife. We have been to South Africa together, and they are bow hunters. And so it really fits in the theme of their home. I used an animal print minky for the backing. And I folded the backing over to the front to use as binding to finish off the edging of the quilt. And this quilt was about 96 by 100, 102, I think it was. That was the size of the quilt. I think that's all I wanted to tell you. Yeah. The next quilt that I finished was, has a little bit of a backstory. So back in 2017, I bought a 1/2 meter of a full line of fabrics called Yes Please by Jen Allison for my mind's eye, the Riley Blake Designs back in 2017. And I bought this. I wanted to do something Valentine's, but not your typical Valentine, like red and white kind of colors. So I bought this fabric, and this was the pattern that I made. I'll show you the pattern and the name of it, of the designer. And then I made this wall hanging originally from it. And then I had a whole bunch of fabric left over, all 1.5 inch strips. So found out that one of my nieces was having a baby. And when I asked my sister about what her nursery would look like or what colors she wanted to use, she told me about blushes, like blacks, gray, white type colors. And I thought, hey, I have a bunch of this fabric left over. So I sewed 5 strips together, and then I cut it into 5-inch squares. And then from there, I sashed them and so on, and then, made this quilt. It is about 55 by 75, 78, something like that. And it worked really well. She loved it. It's backed with a white minky, a white dot minky, and very soft. I also had batting scraps, and I'm going to put in a picture here of I sewed them all together. It's kind of called Franken batting, and I sewed them all together, and that's what I used in this quilt, and it turned out really, really well. What else I want to tell you about this? So after I had finished my niece's quilt, it had always been after I finished the wall hanging, because it has arrows in it and we're into archery, that I always thought maybe someday I would make like a quilt out of it that I could donate to one of our archery events for our club, and it could be as a prize to someone. So that's exactly what I did. I had a whole bunch of these 5-inch square strips left over. And so just in coordinating what I had left and so on, I was able to make this quilt and put it up. So it's basically a mate to my niece's baby's quilt. Got the same white dot minky on the back. I didn't sash each square in the gray. Did something a little bit different. But it turned out fantastic. And I did donate that to our archery event that we had for our club at the beginning of July. And it went over really well. Everybody was really excited to buy a ticket on it. And it was really exciting to have a good friend from Calgary win it. So that was really a lot of fun. So, when I was making these, was kind of like, that song, it's the song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend. Well, that's what this fabric felt like. I'm never going to get to the end of this fabric. However, I did. And in all honesty, I think I had I had 2 squares left of those 5-inch strip squares, and maybe some odds and ends, like enough that would maybe make a 10-inch square of fabric left over. So really, I virtually used everything. So just the little leftover pieces were a lot of black tape pieces. So I just threw them into my stash, and I literally just throw the 2 5-inch ones. I would never use those anywhere, and I'm not picking them out apart to use the 1.5-inch strip. So I was done with that fabric. So in that business, I'm sorry. I sometimes really struggle for words at times when I'm in front of a camera. But in that light, I would like to give away this pattern. So if you are in Canada, I want to give this to someone in Canada, and you are interested in receiving this pattern for free. It is instructions for a wall hanging that's 37 by 45 or a 74 by 90 pieced quilt. So that, and it will come in a plastic envelope. So if you're interested and you live in Canada, please comment below and say the word heart. Now, you don't have to make it in a sentence. If you just want to say the word heart, that's fine. And then I'll use the random comment picker to pick a winner for that. And I'm going to do one floss tube, and then the following floss tube is when I will pick a winner. So within a week, I'm going to do another floss tube, and then it'll probably be 2 or 3 weeks after that is when I'll pick the winner for this. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. So I got through. So that was quite a season of quilting that I've had for the spring and most of the summer, was getting those 4 quilts done and bound and gifted. So the last one I haven't told you about yet, the 4th one. My husband runs an archery store here in southern Alberta and in Tabor. And we have an archery event that we hold on our property, a fun shoot, the August long weekend. So the first weekend in August. And this year is our 10th anniversary of hosting this event. So I really wanted to do something special for this
this shoot. We've really done a lot of different things. And so people are really going to have a wonderful time because we've got a lot of fun things planned that's brand new and so on. So I have made a quilt with the help of my friend Jana. I'm going to show you the picture of the quilt here. And the base of the quilt is made out of a line of fabrics. It was a layer cake that I had bought, and it was called Wildlife Trail by Jennifer Pugh for Wilmington Prints. And so yeah, that's what it looks like. It is about 58 by 78. Like just a nice, my husband's like 6'4", and so I like one that comes like right up to here and will cover his toes, and that is the perfect size. Any from 55 to 60, and then about 78 inches long is a really good, nice quilt for like snuggling up on the couch with for him. So that's what I want to make it. My friend Jana came over to help me. She brought over some fabrics and contributed some fabrics to this. She helped me with a lot of the cutting. And then I put up all the pieces up on the on my design wall. And then I would send her pictures. We would move pieces of fabric around till we had a really nice balanced quilt. And then I continued on to make it. I don't think I have a picture of the back, but it is a navy dot minky on the back, but it has a strip of fleece down the middle because the minky was only 60 inches and I needed it to be a little bit wider for my long arm quilter to get it on her machine and quilt it for me. So I did add a piece in the middle to make that. And I'm really looking forward to it because it's coming up this weekend. And so it's exciting to be able to give this away. Also, this is the label that I made for the quilt. Okay, so plans that I have. I'm going to put up a picture. My grandson was born in the year of the dragon. And there is a Canadian designer called Apples and Beavers, and she came out with this dragon quilt. And I've always wanted to make it. Then this summer, she actually did a quilt along. So she put out in 6 parts, and it was a video on how to, she kind of walked you through the pattern, which was fantastic because really, I mean, it's a well-written pattern, but I'm a visual learner and it really did help quite a bit. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep up with the quilt along. I got pieces cut out and that's about it. But I have them and can continue. So this is what I want to show you next. So these are, I'm going to put up a full picture of the fabrics to make it easier to see. This is going to be the main body of the dragon, this kind of scaly looking. This is a grunge, and it's going to be for the darker parts of the dragon, like the foreleg and some of those things. This is a solid. I think it's a Kona solid. I'm not actually sure, but I think so. And it's going to be for the background. And then I've got a couple of pictures of this white to be able to see the pattern. But I've got a couple that I might do, and it's going to be for the wings. And then I have this gold that I think I want to use for the spikes on the back of the dragon. And then, of course, some black for the claws and a couple things like that. Now, this dragon quilt isn't very big. It's only, I'm not even sure, 20 something by 45 or something. It's not very big. So she has another pattern, and it's a rock pattern. And it's a bit of an improv, I believe. Here's a picture of it. But what I'm really hoping to do is kind of build like almost like a cave with this rock pattern of hers on this side. The sleeping dragon here, something at the bottom to make it bigger, and then something at the top to make it longer as well. And I've got some different black fabrics. I'll just show a couple of them. This is like some spider stuff, and I thought, well, maybe I could make a collage of that in one corner. And I've got a bunch of different black on black. I don't know if you'll be able to see, this kind of got a gray stripe in it. It's sort of like a geometric type pattern. But anyways, I have a few different ones of black, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm not sure what I'll do the rock out of, but that's what I'm hoping to do to make the quilt a little bigger. All right. Okay. So the next two quilts that I want to make is a couple of Christmas quilts for my two boys. I've had this fabric for a while. I find it hard to really like a lot of Christmas fabrics. I find with traditional Christmas fabrics, I kind of have a hard time with some of them. But this was one that came out which really quite a bit different color palette. And it is Cozy and Magical by Maureen Cracknell for Art Gallery Fabrics. I had a 10-inch layer cake that I'm going to split up. And I actually have more yardage of this that I would like to make a quilt for myself. I kind of have something on the go, but that's for another day. But these are just a bit of the fabrics. So like I said, they're a little bit different kind of color palette. That's what some of them look like. Just couple of ideas. Some of this mustardy yellow type thing. And what I want to do is I want to use this template. So it's a large tumbler template by Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it fits a 10-inch layer cake. And then all I've done is I've just pulled all kinds of fabrics from my stash, like this some blue. We have a stash of fabrics in my quilt group, and people can take that. And then when you're done with certain other fabrics, you can bring them back to the. So I just have a whole bunch of navies, reds, grays, some forest green, a bunch of them that will kind of match. I tend to quilt during the day when my husband's not home, and then cross stitch in the evening upstairs while my husband and I are watching TV. But this one here, I'm going to take my Brother machine. It's a nice light machine. That's what I travel with. And I'm going to take it upstairs because that's kind of how I got my niece's quilt done. And I'm going to take that upstairs and do a bit of quilting just at the kitchen table while we're watching TV so I can get these two quilts done. I'd really like to be able to do that. And so that's what the dragon quilt will have to get done on my other machine down here. But my the Christmas quilt I'm going to do upstairs, I think, to try to get this done. Okay. The next thing I want to tell you about is this charity quilt. So I have this, I've probably had this pinned and ready to be tie quilted for like a year. And I'm sure I've showed this before on one of my other ones. And this is what it looks like. So I've just got it, the 3 layers together. And I probably had it together for a year. I have thought about running it through my machine and just machine quilting it and getting it over with. But I have already cut all of the ties that go to it. And so I just feel bad. I really want to use them, use up something from my stash. And so, but it's hard because if I'm upstairs, I want to be cross stitching, not tying a quilt. But I need to just put some time aside and to do this. Also, then the last thing that I'm really hoping to do, I have another niece that is going to be having a baby in August. And so realistically, I probably will only be able to get a quilt to her probably by the end of the year, maybe around Christmas time. But because of their religious beliefs, I think this is something that I had in my stash that I think they would really like. So this is what the panel looks like. It is of the Nativity, and it's got some little squares that I can cut out to make blocks that would go around the panel to make the quilt bigger. Now, there is a Canadian. Her name is Michelle, and her YouTube channel is Bits and Pieces Quilting. And let me just see. Oh, yeah. Okay, it's going to go off right away. So Michelle has a wonderful quilting YouTube, and she has a website, and she offers lots of beautiful free patterns. And one of her patterns is called the Fibonacci spiral pattern. Fibonacci is a math sequence. I'm not explaining it right, but it has to do with that, a math sequence pattern of numbers. And you see it a lot in nature. You see it in, it has to do with like the golden ratio and numbers that add up. Like a number that is one number adding to the number right in front of it. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is a Fibonacci number. 3 plus 4 is 7, is a Fibonacci. 4 plus 5, 9, etc., etc. So you see that a lot, like a lot of flowers will have a Fibonacci number of petals, etc., etc. So I think that would be good. I can take some of these, use her pattern. It's kind of like a log cabin block is what it looks like. And I think I can use these as one of those blocks in that pattern. And I think it would be very meaningful for them. And that's what I'm going to do in this for my niece. I actually have 2 of the panels. And so if it works out really good, I might even make one for myself just to have to cuddle up at Christmas time, another Christmas quilt in my collection. I think that's everything. Other than we were talking about Christmas, the only other thing I want to say was out of the heart, this heart quilt pattern, the same designer has made this Christmas tree. And I would actually like to do that someday. It's a really nice, basically the same thing. It's just strips. And I would actually like to do that someday, whether I did it in shades of green or exactly what. They're both really striking. So those are really nice. Okay, so that is everything of my quilting life for basically the last 6 months. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending some time with me and listening to me talk about the quilts that I've made and who I've made them for and why they're important to me. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And as I say to my family and friends when they're leaving, see you, love you, bye.